Hurricanes are possibly the biggest cause of death by natural disasters. Every summer, hurricanes come rolling off the African coast and steamroll into North and Central America. Some hurricanes don't pan out to be deadly. Actually, very few are. However, once a hurricane breaks into the Gulf, it's seemingly a whole new ballgame. The three most deadly hurricanes were the 1900 storm in Galveston, resulting in the most deaths at 8,000, the next being the 1928 storm of Okeechobee, reaching 2,500 deaths, and third being Hurricane Katrina, reaching 1,800 deaths. Katrina also has been one of the more historic hurricanes due to the fact that it is the only hurricane in the top 25 deadliest hurricanes of all time to be after the new millennium. On August 23, 2005, Hurricane Katrina crossed the Bahamas only as a weak Category 1 hurricane. As stated earlier, the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico help strengthen any tropical storm. Apparent to the Florida current is a loop current. It is an ocean current that flows north between Cuba and the Yucatan Peninsula and moves north into the Gulf of Mexico, and eventually joins the Gulf Stream. A related feature is an area of water called an eddy. These areas contain much warmer water than the rest of the Gulf. In the Gulf of Mexico, the deepest areas of water are associated with the loop current, and its eddies provide more energy to hurricanes and allow them to intensify. This may be why Katrina seemingly grew into a violent storm within 400 miles. As you may know, in 2004, Hurricane Ivan's path resulted in a loop, and it rode the Gulf twice because of the loop current. Hurricane Katrina was the costliest hurricane in history. Total property damage was estimated to be $81 billion, triple the damage of Hurricane Andrew in 1992. The levees in New Orleans are considered the worst civil engineering disaster in U.S. history. Katrina's storm surge led to 53 levee breaches protecting New Orleans. Since the storm, we rebuilt the levees in New Orleans at the cost of $14 billion. According to Robert Meyer, a risk management teacher of Wharton, when you compare the cost of the levees to all of the damage, the levees are actually pretty cheap. It's all politics. The government just isn't willing to spend all of that money on something that hasn't happened yet. However, in 1965, when the previous levees were built, they were only built to protect Category 3 hurricanes. At one point, Hurricane Katrina reached a Category 5 with winds up to 175 miles per hour. The storm surge of Katrina was 20 feet high. Katrina was simply a freak of nature. According to DoSomething.org, 1,836 people were killed. If a hurricane is coming and you choose to stay and ride it out, please take the following actions. Determine the safest room in your home that will be able to withstand flooding or high winds, such as a hallway or a bathroom. Rooms without windows are ideal. In some areas, if you live on the coast, the safest area will not be in your home. Find shelter somewhere in your community, like a school. Decide on an out-of-state contact that you will call if your family gets separated. Make sure everyone knows the location of all exits if you need to suddenly evacuate. Always be safe and knowledgeable in case of serious emergency. Hurricanes build over the Atlantic Ocean. Once entered in the Gulf of Mexico, it is proven that they will gain strength. Gulf Coast hurricanes are rare, but can be the deadliest and costliest of all storms. Always be prepared. One of the safest things you can do is to evacuate. It is always better to be safe rather than sorry. Is being unprepared worth your life?